Thanks for downloading the 31st episode or recording of ASMR Sleep Station. There might have been a little echo because my speaker was on, and I don't know where to start. There's been so many things I've wanted to talk about, and I've had at least 2 or 3 dreams of recording this. I think one of them, somebody emailed me and they were upset, and another one, I was doing something like this, recording and mentioning how long it's been. So, doing this is deep in my subconscious, and I think about doing it all the time. Even saying that is, I believe, some kind of admission of guilt, because I haven't been making recordings, and I'm a broken record. That sounds negative, so I'll leave it. There's all these, this is a totally separate topic, all these things connected to my network. I don't know what the heck is going on. It doesn't make any sense. Before I drift too far, if you are listening to this and you've never listened to it before, this is a series of recordings called ASMR Sleep Station, and it's designed to make you tired or fall asleep or relax, whatever you want to use it for. Sometimes I rant, other times I read things, and every now and then I give unsolicited advice and my opinion on things. And I probably sound like a brick sometimes. That's okay. I'm coming to terms with the reality of being inconsiderate and, okay, I have some things that I planned on reading. The first of which is, I already hinted that it's numerical, but first I will read about it. I have these folders that just keep on going on and on forever. Folders or directories. I can't even figure out where I save this thing. so I'll read about it first. And that is oh, what am I doing? I hope most of you are asleep right now, because I'm having a lot of problems. Oh, there we go. I just zoom in on this text so we can read it and talk about, maybe I won't read it exactly, but I'll talk about the approximations of pi, and then I'll read some of pi. Alright, so maybe I'll just start reading, and I'll try to explain why this is interesting. If it is, and if it's not interesting, then, well, I believe I've set myself up to not let anyone down, since this is designed to be boring. Approximations for this is all from Wikipedia, I believe. For the mathematical constant pi, in the history of mathematics, reach an accuracy within 0.04% of the true value before the beginning of Common Era, Archimedes. In Chinese mathematics, this was improved to approximations correct to what corresponds to about 7 decimal digits by the 5th century. Further progress was not made until the 15th century. Jamshid al-Kashi, early modern mathematicians, reached an accuracy of 35 digits by the beginning of the 17th century and 126 digits by the 19th century. That was Ludolf van Zeulen and George Vega, respectively, surpassing the accuracy required for any conceivable application outside of pure mathematics. The record of manual approximation of pi is held by William Shanks, who calculated 527 digits correctly in the years preceding 1873. Since the middle of the 20th century, the approximation of pi has been the task of electronic digital computers. As of October 2014, the record is 13.3 trillion digits. Trillion is a number with 12 zeros after it. The article goes to, I have to adjust myself. Hopefully this isn't too loud. I'm intoxicated, by the way. I've been drinking beer and Jameson. I don't know what Jameson tastes like. I'm trying to profile it with my substandard amateur tongue, but I really can't pull anything out of it. I don't know if I'm too lazy or unrefined. I really can't get anything out of it. It's definitely on the sweeter side of whiskey, though. Yeah, I'm just not getting anything right now. This article goes throughout the centuries. Oh, and by the way, I downloaded this from Wikipedia as a PDF. that if you want. It's kind of like a screenshot of text. If you ever want to download something from Wikipedia, I think it's on the left side of the page. People have been trying to figure out pi for a long time, which has to do with really the mathematical nature of circles and the ratio between certain measurements within a circle. I don't know if that really explains it. It is an estimation between the circumference and diameter of a circle. I have no idea why it's so complicated. Maybe I'll figure it out. It is always interested me, and I've never, every time I touch this touchpad, it keeps doing stupid things. It's a very complicated number that, as we find more and more accurate representations of this ratio, we find that the number doesn't repeat. So I've asked a few people, and I've never really found out an exact answer, but I'm always interested in how we calculate it, what actual equations are used, and that led me to approximations of pi on the Wikipedia page, which I donate to. You should donate to. Donate to Wikipedia. Sorry, I'm drunk. I guess that's a way of saying I'm relinquishing all self-constraint, and now I'm just gonna get stupider and stupider. That's okay. The 20th century representation is derived from Srinivasa Ramanujan. I really like Indian names and words, but I can never sound them out for myself without sounding like an imbecile. In 1910, that mathematician found several rapidly converging, and don't follow along. I was going to say if you want to follow along, but don't follow along, just go to sleep, or tune out. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Found several rapidly converging infinite series of pi, including... Okay, let's see if we can... I don't even know how to read this. Okay, 1 over pi equals 2 times the square root of 2 over 9,801 multiplied by, this is a sigma where k equals 0 to infinity, and the sigma equation is 4k factorial multiplied by 1,103 plus 26,390k over k factorial to the 4th power 396 to the 4k power, which computates a further 8 decimal places of pi with each term in a series. The series are now the basis for the fastest algorithms currently used to calculate pi, and that references the Ramanujan Sato series. no idea where he got that from. I don't think I'll ever understand. I'm not a mathematician. There, I've revealed something about myself. My ability to record these things and not even talk about anything is pretty incredible, I think. Because I haven't even talked about anything yet, except for pi. And, well, I won't say how many minutes in, but we're many minutes into this recording, and we're probably running out of time. Okay. There's some 21st century stuff. Oh, we're in the 21st century. Let's see. I'll try to summarize this. 2002, Yasumasa Kanada and a team of 9 others used some Hitachi whatever supercomputer. They got about 1.2 trillion digits in. They doubled the previous record in 2009. More Japanese people. In December 2009, Fabrice Ballard used a home computer to compute 2.7 trillion decimal digits of pi, and that was on a base 2, which is binary, 1 or 0, for anyone who's still listening. Then the result was converted to base 10 decimal. The calculation and verification steps took a total of 131 days. In 2010, Shigeru Kondo used Alexander Yi's Y cruncher to calculate 5 trillion digits. And then he broke his own record in October 2011. In December 2013, Kondo broke his own record for a second time when he computed 12.1 trillion digits of pi. In October 2014, someone going by the pseudonym Hao Go-Onji used a Y cruncher to calculate 13.3 trillion digits of pi. That concludes that section. The next section, practical approximation, says depending on the purpose of a calculation, pi can be approximated by using fractions for ease of calculation. The most notable approximations are 22/7, which is accurate to, I believe, 2 times 10 to the negative 4th, and 355/113, and that's accurate to 8 times 10 to the negative 8th power. I don't know what that is. 100 million, 8 millions. I have no idea. I don't know what that means. Actually, that might be much greater than that. Wow, non-mathematical definitions of pi. There's a passage in the Hebrew Bible that implies pi equals 3. Close enough. It's not a bad estimate, I guess. The imputed biblical value. This is Talmud and rabbinic literature, among many explanations. There's another subsection. This one's interesting. Polygon approximation to a circle using some Archimedes calculation. I guess he published something, measurement of a circle, and that was the first algorithm for the calculation of pi based on the idea that the perimeter of any convex polygon inscribed in in a circle is less than the circumference of the circle, which, in turn, is less than the perimeter of any circumscribed polygon. He used those values to obtain 3 and 10 70 firsts. I don't even know how to say that fraction. Is less than pi is less than 3 and 1/7. Which reminds me of computer rendering. Rendering complex shapes. I guess he got it down to a 96-sided polygon. Computer graphics are, or I don't know if they're still graded, but most computer graphics are graded on how well they can render polygons. Multi-dimensional polygons. And if they're really complicated, sometimes many multi-dimensional polygons at the same time. Machin-like formulae. Machins or machines. He has an equation, pi over 4 equals 4 arctangent 1/5 minus arctangent 1/239, together with the Taylor series expansion of the function of arctangent x. This formula is most easily verified by using polar coordinates of complex numbers producing 5 plus I to the 4th power times 239 minus I equals 2 to the 2nd power times 13 to the 4th power times 1 plus I, which leads to a whole set of other calculations. I guess the modern computers are running algorithms. There's some other approximations. Wow, some of these are crazy looking. I don't even know what this notation is. I'm really drunk. My head's starting to hurt. Starting to feel a little bit of regret. But still drinking. Summing the circle's area. Area pi can be obtained from a circle if its radius and area are known using the relationship A equals pi r squared. If a circle with radius r is drawn with its center at the point 0, 0, any point whose distance from the origin is less than r will fall inside the circle. The Pythagorean theorem gives a distance from any point xy to the center. And there's a pretty massive graph. I don't even know. Some Cartesian coordinate graphs. I guess that's a good approach. That makes sense. But, I don't know what accuracy that bears. Oh well. And that just concludes one section. There's another one using trigonometry, Gregory Leibniz series. Things are starting to get heavy there. Yeah, there's some more series, which are ways of estimating pi by using increasingly accurate equations or representations of those ratios. Maybe that's my take on it. Here's some interesting stuff. There's the Y cruncher that I mentioned earlier. That's Alexander Yee's. Kondo used that. PyFast is made by Xavier Gordon. That was for Windows in 2003. That's funny. 2.4 gigahertz Pentium 4. Quick Buy by Steve Pagliarulo. Runs under 400 million digits. That's obtained from PyHacks Yahoo forum. A lot of homebrewed software, and that's it. It just mentions the different computational based projects. And now for I guess we could call it the main feature of the show. I will read that click is really loud. I don't even know how many digits. I can't count them. I'll read. I don't know how many digits. Enough. Maybe that will put you to sleep. Maybe the numbers that I read to you will do something magical in your conscious or unconscious brain, because they reflect some odd aspect of reality, which is filled with circles that we have yet to mathematically describe with accuracy. It's troubling if you really think about it. Okay. Here it goes. Reading the digits of pi. I really hope you're not still awake. I hope you're asleep. If you're still awake, in a way, I think I failed you, but hopefully this will put you to sleep. 3.1415926 33846264339937502897494592307841662. I'm trying to zoom in on this so I can get a better. Sorry, I didn't want to break the reading there, but I can't. Okay, that's better. 86208998628034253117079342111741971258 22317250 408 12848 11284 896442817565933446128 856923460348610454326648213393648 213360726024914 127372458174661558174881520920920962829 254091713643678925903300113305305 4820466521 38414695194159416094305727 3657595919530921 86117389326117931051 1-855-487-4662-37996-274-9567 351-885-7527 248-122-793-8183-011-949-129 833-673-3624-086-021-3949-436 391-907-021-798-6-0943-7-02-770. That's a Jameson break in the middle of pie. I think I've already made some mistakes by stopping and resuming by repeating the same number. But who's calculating this? 539-217-629-386-74-818-4676-9405-132-000 568-127-145-2635-6082-778-5 577-1347-8996-09173717821468440901. 224953430114654995925892354020199561121999608640344. 1-815-981-136-297-7475-870-721-13499999837-297-805-105937. 317-3281-6096-318-59. 5024594830264255223082530825334468503526 It's amazing how many mistakes I've made this far. Alright, a few more lines. I'll keep going, and then at the end I think I'm just gonna cut it off. And then after I'm finished recording this, I'm gonna contemplate whether I should put this first or last. I need more Jameson. This podcast or whatever is a work in progress for me to try to get focused on what I want to achieve, and I do struggle with trying to do things that are relaxing, and sometimes I over-involve myself in this, but it's very difficult. How do I remove myself from these recordings? The idea that I have in my head is to become a voice in your head that makes you relax, and I don't want to be a person. But that doesn't always work out. And I talk a lot about myself. Somebody had taken a massive survey of how people communicate. percentage of humanity talks about themselves, and of course, I, the letter I, or anything that refers to self, is the most commonly used word, and it occurs often. So, I'm going to, well, actually, first I'm going to do something really boring. And, well, if you're listening to this and you still don't know what's going on, and you're patient enough, then I do a lot of things that are boring. So, right now, I'm trying to figure out what is going on with my internet. And after I figure that out, I'll do some feedback from iTunes. There's all these IP addresses. Yeah, those are IP addresses. The router that I use, it starts at a bunch of numbers, and then it's dot. I think it starts at 100 or 101. You probably know the numbers that precede that. It's pretty universal. These recordings are meant to make you bored or distance yourself from whatever you're experiencing. I try very hard to bore you, and for people that aren't satisfied with that, hopefully I bore them in a way that's worth listening to. I think that is a very narrow, gray area, but that's where I want to be. Not too interesting, not too boring. I have a bunch of things lined up that I've wanted to do. I avoid checking out other ASMR artists and podcasters because I don't want to be influenced by what other people are doing, and I want to make this show genuine. Okay. These MAC addresses. They're MAC addresses I don't know. Some of them I know. Android phones seem to have a long number after them. I'm wondering if it's unique. Very odd patterns. I don't typically talk about food, and I have some slightly polar beliefs on what I eat, and I would like anybody who's listening to know that there are non-judgmental vegans out there that don't care what you eat, but if you're set in eating animals, then that's totally okay with me. If you're against it, that's okay too. And if you're in between, that's also okay. But for the people that are in between, there's a lot of things out there to help you decide. That can't be interpreted as being preachy. That's non-judgmental. I haven't condemned anyone for what they eat. One thing that I want to say is that Boca burgers, which you could buy at most grocery stores, taste pretty good, and they're a lot like actual burgers. That's it. These IP addresses are non-sequential: 101, 109, 107, 106, 108. No idea what they're coming from. I really wanted this recording to be different and maybe better than the rest, but I'm already off to a very slow start, and I really do hope people are getting relaxed and enjoying this if they're trying to enjoy it. So far, it seems pretty boring. I guess that's a good thing. This router, I don't know why, but it times out any security very quickly. I'm going to try to figure out what all these things connected to my router are. But it's very difficult because they have MAC addresses. Some of the MAC addresses I have, other ones I don't. Those are alphanumeric identifiers for network devices, and if I get to it quickly, the first thing that I'll do after feedback will be related to numbers, which I believe bores most people. I'm pretty sure it does. I'm looking at all these things. Device list. I can't tell. There's no way to verify what these things are. A long time ago, you could ping devices, and that would help you identify what was what. But this is definitely not happening right now. Alright, I'll keep trying different things. ASMR stands for Autonomic Sensory Meridian Response. And I'm surprised I can say that without stuttering. I'm not sure, but I might be an alcoholic. I talked about that a lot the last last recording, and not just because I think I might be an alcoholic, but because of my views on humanity. I think anything that involves addiction is very important. And as I said before, I think that's one of the most important questions humanity has. Why do we abuse drugs of all sorts? And what does that say about us? And maybe what is fundamentally different or similar between humans and other animals on this planet. I've thought of so many things to talk about, but I can't figure out all these IP addresses. I'm gonna give up on that. I have no idea what these devices are. Could be some hackers. Maybe I'm being hacked. Just kidding. No one's hacking me. I just can't figure out what these devices are. Okay. I'm on iTunes. ASMR Sleep Station shows up, which is good. And I think a couple of weeks ago it was in the 20s or 30s, their 20th or 30th plus place for alternative health shows, which now I'm wondering maybe that's not a good category. I don't even know if I can change it. There's a lot of sleep with me in the alternative health category. That's pretty good. If you don't like my show, you should probably check that one out. It outranks me in multiple ways. And, I guess I'm still in the 20s. Alright, it's in the 27th place for alternative health podcasts. I never knew how to categorize this show because I'm not really sure if this is health related or not. I do get a little crazy about trying to help people sleep. I have no problems reiterating those things. I actually just preached to someone today, but it was someone who was really distressed about getting sleep. Tomorrow is an important event for this person, and they're already low on sleep. And I said, one of the most important things is just getting a good night's rest, which everybody deserves, really, regardless of what they're doing. and they they didn't really ask for any advice, but I was telling them that if you got an important event tomorrow and it involves performance, one of the best things that you can do is get a good night's rest. If it's an exam or a job interview or a performance or what else is there? Any high stakes event. Usually sleep is better than practicing. You should have practiced ahead of time. If you don't practice ahead of time, you're a crammer, which is okay. No judgments there. Usually, if you're not motivated enough to study things or prepare for things ahead of time, and you cram, you might not be ready for what it is that lies ahead of you. And if you succeed being a crammer, it might catch up with you, or it might not. Who knows? I would argue that it's better to be prepared way ahead of time, and the night before you are doing whatever it is that you have to do, then you should get a good night's rest. The most recent review, we'd have to figure out what. Okay, the last podcast recording came out the 22nd, so since then, the 22nd of August, since then there's been one review left on iTunes, the iTunes store, and that makes the 80th rating, the 58th 5-star rating, and it was left on August 30th, 2016 by Diapers123, and it reads, "Keep it up." Thank you for taking the time to do that. I plan on keeping it up. I constantly have the feeling, the sensation that things are getting easier and I'm managing my time better, and I'll have more time for recording these. And it hasn't happened consistently yet. It's always been sporadic, and it seems like there's more and more time in between recordings, but like I said, it's constantly in my subconscious. I even dream about it. I don't know what to do about that to record more. It still feels like things are quieting down and I'll have more time, but my free time is so sporadic and unpredictable. There I go, involving myself too much. Hopefully that's boring. Hopefully most of the people listening to this are asleep. And my talking about nothing relevant makes you tired. Thank you to Diapers123 for posting that. Along with Diapers, this is something that I thought of saying many times recently, in the past week or two. I have an overwhelming feeling of appreciation for people that have emailed me and leave feedback. It's touching in an odd internet-based way, and a few people have written me very nice things. I don't know any of you, and I'm not physically or actually connected to you, but then maybe I am through the internet. That's hard to say. But I don't even know what I'm trying to say. You all leave an impression on me that at times is overwhelming, and I feel very grateful for, and it amazes me. Okay, I'm back. I had to pause things because it was getting a little loud. I keep bumping this microphone. Okay, so that's it for feedback. I don't even remember where I left off. I was trying to thank everyone for writing in and leaving feedback. Yeah, that's all I want to say about that now. I still can't figure out what's going on with my network. I don't think that's too much of a reveal. I obviously have a network if I'm uploading things to the internet. Today I kept thinking about how I was judgmental and criticized people that I thought were alcoholics when I was younger, and now I've assumed almost the exact same habits as them, as if it's a curse. I don't believe in curses, but it's interesting how judgmental I was, and now I'm the person that I was judging. Whenever I'm introspective and dramatic, I may sound like I'm I don't know what I sound like, but there are times when, well, I don't know. I'll let that go. Five 572095893759122680611927893809525720198925720105257201065 Okay, that's enough. This has been a pretty long recording. It's a little low on content if you're still conscious. I apologize for making this one. It was 31, a prime number, and I thought it would be a little bit more special, but I don't know what I talked about for 40 minutes. It's kind of slow though. I was looking for things to read. One last thing before I leave, read some of Ted Chiang's stories. Ted Chiang, Chiang. It looks like Chiang. Ted Chiang writes fantastic, very intricate and emotionally balanced science fiction. I think he's only written short stories and novellas. The life cycle of... Oh, shit. I drank way too much. The life cycle of software objects. That's what it is. That one's really good. That's a novella length, which I think as long as it's over 5,000 or 7,000 words, it's a novella, but they're usually in the 10,000 plus range. I told someone recently, I won't name any names, that they should check out what I think is one of the best short fiction stories ever written. Exhalation, also by Ted Chiang. We're still talking about Ted Chiang. And if you just search for it, you can find it. Exhalation by Ted Chiang is unique. It's unlike anything I've ever read before. And it's amazing in a way that I can't really describe, but if you're awake and you're listening, even if you don't like short fiction or science fiction, you should really, really check out Exhalation by Ted Chiang. It's an amazing story, and I hope it's worth your reading. If it's not, you can write me a hate email and tell me how stupid it is. But the reason why I bring up Ted Chiang is because his short story, The Story of Your Life, I think it's called now, feature-length film called Arrival, or The Arrival, I forget which, starring Amy Adams? No. Oh man. Sorry, my memory is terrible right now. I think it's Amy Adams. She was in The Master and the one with Bradley Cooper. I felt like I could pass out right now. The Hustle, whatever it is. She was in those, and I don't even know what I was saying. She's a fantastic actress. I forgot what her breakout role was, but she's one of those few people that is super talented and auditioned and got a role, and everybody noticed it, and she actually delivered and is a really good actress. So it's her, Jeremy Renner, Forrest Whitaker, the Scientologist, and I think those are the main actors. I don't know who else is. So, go buy some Ted Chiang fiction, or download it, or read it online. It's on, I think it's even on some podcasts. I can't even speak right now. Some short story online publication, online magazines, and I think there's an audiobook of, I forget what it's called, but it's a collection of his short stories. You can't go wrong. If you like science fiction or speculative fiction or even fantasy, you really can't go wrong. Babylon, 72 words. Dang it. I can't think of the other ones. What's Expected of Us? That's a really short one. I can't think of the other ones. But check Ted Chiang out. A very, very talented writer. Not just talented in the way that he can engineer a story, and I already mentioned it, but they're usually very well balanced, but the ideas themselves are very innovative and unique, and hopefully he continues to get attention because of Arrival. The director is French, Denis Villeneuve, I don't speak French, but he made Prisoners, Sicario, and there's one more I'm not able to think of, but the direction's really good, so hopefully that gives Ted Chiang a lot of attention. He's a very talented writer, someone I admire. For a time, I thought I could be, and I wanted to be a short fiction writer, but in an admittedly defeatist, lame fashion, I feel paralyzed by writers like Ted Chiang, and my honesty tells me that I will never ascend to levels like that, and I should try other things, because his writing is really, really good, and the perfectionist in me stops me from even trying when there's people that good out there. I know that's lame, I understand that art should not be limited by that, but I'm human. I'm unable to find a way around that. And he's one of those authors that I constantly think of whenever I even consider write or I'm writing. And it's a very, very lame and self-defeatist admission, but when I do something, I want to be really good at it. And short fiction takes a lot of work, and you have to suck for a long time, or at least allow yourself to suck, unless you're a genius, which I am not. And you should never think about talented authors, because it will just discourage you. I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. It's almost like I'm trying to give you advice not to be me, which is the most redundant and common type of advice there is. I will start writing again sometime soon. I'm gearing up for it, and if you're still listening, and you're a listener, someone who has downloaded this show before, I put this show before writing and before making music or noise. This is very important to me. This is not reflected by how often I record, but it is important to me. I'm half-assed, I'm inconsistent, I'm imperfect. That's okay. I hope you're asleep. If I put out 1 or 2 more episodes within a month from now, I'm going to set up that Patreon page, and I think that's going to give me the real incentive to keep going. Otherwise, this will be inconsistent, weird recording, as it always has been. Thank you for downloading this. Thank you for listening. I hope you're asleep right now. I'm not always recording this, but I'm always thinking of it.